Welcome back, my brothers. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Salatu wassalam ala ashraf al-anbiya wal mursaleen nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Hopefully my voice is my brothers hear me. Okay, I think Brother Muzammil, if you could possibly add a link to Mixler, so then inshallah she can click on that link and that way she will leave the group, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khairan. Okay, so we concluded previously with the alamat al-ism, and Ibn Aajrummiyyah, he said that the signs showing that a particular word is an ism, is a noun, how many did he give? How many did he give, brothers? How many signs did Ibn Aajrummiyyah mention? In general, how many did he? Signs of al-asma, the nouns, knowing that something is a noun. Noun nihal, thank you, yes. Arba'a. And what are they? The signs of a noun. No, well done, mashallah, very quick, very good. Tanween, alif, lam, harf, harf al-khaf, and also, now, having the khaf itself. Harf al-jar, like I said at the end. Sahih. That's correct. And Shaykh mentioned, or Ibn Aajrummiyyah mentioned a number of حروف الجر. The Shaykh Uthaimeen, all of them rather. What did he say about the meaning of min? Somebody please give me the meaning of min, and somebody else give me the meaning of ila. No. Sahih. The basic translation. Say like that. 1, 2. Ibn Uthaymeen, he actually explained, didn't he? He actually explained the meaning of some of these, or these huruf. And he said that he said min is lil ibtida, starting point of something, and ila, that's your clue. And ila, he said, min is lil ibtida, the starting point of something, the point where something from. Okay? And then he said that ila is lil intiha, the ending point of something. Point is, like you're saying it, from and to, sahih. How about an? An. What feeling does it give? What meaning does it give? Others remember? The an has the meaning of al-mawaza, actually. To go beyond something. So leaving something and going beyond it. And Shaykh mentioned a number of examples in his explanation, Ibn Uthaimeen, rahimahullah. Exactly. رميت السهم عن القوس. رميت السهم, I shot the arrow عن القوس, from the bow or away from the bow. I mean, in English it sounds correct, but there's a wisdom why the arrows would use the word in this case, in this description, shooting an arrow, because an, the arrow is starting from and going beyond the bow, whereas previously they were together. رميت السهم عن القوس. And also the ayah in the Quran about the jizya. حتى يعطوا الجزية عن يد. Is there voice, brothers? Can the rest of the brothers hear me, or is there a problem? Okay, you maybe you have to check, inshallah. Okay. Is it clear for others? It's not clear for Hussein. Is it clear for Muzammil and for Muhsin and for who was that also that said it? Abu Abdullah. Is it also unclear for you guys? Okay, inshallah. Okay, today we're going to be going to Alamat Al. So, here we are. The Ibn Aajrummiyyah, he said, وَالْفِعْلُ يُعْرَفُ بِقَدْ وَسَوْفَ وَتَاءِ التَّأْنِيثِ السَّاكِنَةِ. He said that the verb, the fi'l, is known by one of these signs. If we take you back right to the beginning, أقسام الاسم, الكلام أقسامه, said right at the beginning over here. Alhamdulillah, inshallah. Where's it gone? Okay, yeah. الكلام وأقسامه. الكلام هو اللفظ المركب المفيد بالوضع، وأقسامه ثلاثة: اسم وفعل وحرف جاء لمعنى. حرف جاء لمعنى, meaning those particles that have a purpose or a meaning behind them. Then he said, فالاسم يعرف بالخفض والتنوين ودخول الألف واللام. حروف الخفض, these are the four things. And he mentioned all of those. Okay? And the Shaykh begins to explain. Alright, so then, again, I was mistaken. I thought that the actual text was mentioned there, the af'al. That's why I brought you guys back to this place. So here, ism, finished. Completed now. Okay? So now we're going to be speaking about the fi'l. Okay? Sorry for the message. So, he said, Ibn Aajrummiyyah, that the alamat, the signs of the fi'l are qad, entering upon it, and seen, as well as sofa, as well as ta'neeth as-sakins. Shaykh Ibn Uthaimeen is about to explain them. No need to translate per se, because Shaykh will now give us, inshallah, some words of explanation and self-explanatory. الشرح 4 علامات. There are 4 signs. كل كلمة must, every word that has قد coming before it. Very important, this word here, مسبوقة, meaning that it comes before it. Comes before it. فهي فعل, then that word is a فعل. Also, every word, كل كلمة مسبوقة بالسين and سوف also فهي فعل. These are verbs. And lastly, fourthly, كل كلمة مختومة. Over here, قد مسبوقة. So, كل كلمة مختومة بتاء التأنيث الساكنة فهي فعل. So, verb. So, draw your attention, brothers, here to the words مسبوقة, مختومة. Sheikh's going to mention that one. قد has to come before the word for that word to be known as a verb. Sofa or sifa has to come before the word for it to be known as a verb. Sofa has to come before the word for it to be known as a verb. Okay? As for the التأنيث الساكنة, this is the letter, the حرف التاء. تاء. عندكم. She's off the page. Cancel that order. There you go. Ta. Here's your ta. And this ta'need, because it's going to be used for purpose at the end of a verb, and it also has a sukoon on it. So what you're seeing right now is what the Ibn al-Aajrummiyyah is referring to. Ta ta'need as-sakina. And this has to come at the end of a word, not before. Okay. The example of the first. Okay, this is in Surah Al-Mu'minun. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. I asked about this question. What is the meaning of, or what is this word أفعى? Is it a verb? Is it a ism? Is it a fi'l? Or is it a حرف جاء بمعنى? Now, how do you know it's a fi'l? Abu Abdullah al-Muhsin, how do you know? Because, absolutely. Because of qad. Abu Abdullah, no? What do you mean? No. Yes, Muhsin, because of qad. You know this is a fi'l because it came after qad came before it. Masbuqatun bi qad. So Ibn Uthaimeen says, أفلح فعل المؤمنون فعل اسمه حرف. And what are the signs? Ism. And the signs being نعم ألف الله بارك الله فيكم. المؤمنون اسم والدليل دخول الألف واللام. Shaykh continues with the examples. السين كلا سيعلمون. كلا سيعلمون. سيعلمون بذلكنا. يعلمون is a verb. How do we know يعلمون is a verb? Because of the seed. Because of the seed. Abu Abdullah. Abu Abdullah, so you see, mashallah, that you've got some background here, and I think what you're doing is you're relying on some previous knowledge, which is good, but the problem is that the waw referring to, this waw, this is not the word or where we say يعلمون here. Well, here, this is not it's not enough to see that wow and say, oh great, now we know this is a fi'l. Okay? Because, quite simply, let's say, Ibn al-Ajrum didn't mention it as a sign of it. That's one thing. But the other issue is that it's not specific. That wow in that place is not specific to quite just before it, you have the example of al-mu'minuna. Looks like the same wow. Wow and moon. Okay? So that wow there is very difficult to say that this wow is a min alamat al-af'al, sign from the signs of a verb. Okay? Because it will be difficult for someone to distinguish between this fi'l and this ism. That's why it hasn't been chosen or used as a sign of a fi'l. Is that clear, inshallah? Okay? That's that thing. And also, Brother Abu Abdullah, from your knowledge, you're going for the ya, which is harf mudari at the beginning of the verb. Okay? And Ibn al-Ajrum, we didn't mention this as an alama from the alamat al-af'al. Okay, so the reason why this example has been presented to us is quite simply, what Hassan pointed out, because of the scene. سَيَعْلَمُونَ. Because that scene is that you know, يَعْلَمُونَ is a verb. Okay? And also, give you some information about this ayah here. كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. What can you tell me about تَعْلَمُونَ? No, absolutely. Sahih Abu Abdullah. Thank you, Hussein. It's a verb. Because of سوف. سوف تعلمون. تعلمون فعل لدخول سوف. Because of سوف entering upon it. Now you know تعلمون is a verb. فكل كلمة دخلت عليها السين فهي فعل. وكل كلمة دخلت عليها سوف فهي فعل. Every word that has seen or سوف upon it, being beforehand, then that is a verb. And he said, فإذا كانت السين منها فقد تكون meaning if the harf seen is a part of the verb, actually is a part of the word. It's not an added word. It's not an added element, I'm trying to say, to the word. Then it's actually a part of the verb. Sorry, it's actually a part of the word. Okay? That word may happen to be a verb. And it may happen to be a noun. Okay? So, the Shaykh says, فَإِذَا كَانَ the scene, if the scene, minha was an actual part of the word, فَقَدْ تَكُونُ فِعْلًا, it might well be a verb, but you can think of a verb that starts with scene, go ahead, you know, but that's not your sign. The scene that Ibn al-Ajrum is talking is giving a feeling of the future. So that something is about to happen. Okay? Not the scene which is the first letter of a particular verb. Okay, like for example, salaba, took away. You know, to take from scene. Salaba is a verb. But the scene is not the reason we know it's a verb. Okay? We know it's a verb because can enter upon it. Seen can enter upon it. So yes, liver. And sofa can enter upon it. Okay, and also ta'nith as-sakin as-salabat can enter upon it. So seen, we're talking about not the seen which is a part of the word, but seen which has been added to the word. Is that clear, brothers? This you should hear Shaykh mentioning a small point here. But not every time you see a scene, you're going to get excited and say, oh look, there's a scene. That means ha and ra, this one, verb. Scene is the sign, and this ha, ra, hur, or har, or hir, or hara, that must be our verb. Not the case. Okay? The Shaykh says, السين هنا من بنية الكلمة. It's actually main part, is a part of the word. فالسين التي علامة على الفعل, the seen which refers to, the seen which we're referring to, which one is it? That is a sign of the verb. خارجة عن بنية الكلمة. It is away from the main word itself. As an example, سيعلمون. The beginning of the verb is with the ya. And seen enters upon it. So is this issue clear? Just give me your feedback, inshallah, whoever's in the room, about this issue of the seen being a part of the word, not part of the word. Clear? That no, it came, as I said, is my question clear? Did you say no because of maybe there's a delay, there's a lag over here on the internet? Okay, the question is not clear. Quite simply asking, is this issue understood? Shaykh Uthaimeen over here, he said, they're talking about seen and sofa entering upon a word, and that word, what does it become? Not what does it become, but we know definitely that that word which came after as seen is what, my brothers? What is that word that came after seen? We know it's a verb, we know it's a fi'l. Khalas? Okay. Now, Shaykh says, there's a small problem. That sometimes you have a word like this one, sihr. It starts with seen. So what he doesn't want you to do is look at that scene and get excited and say, oh look, I found the scene. That means the next two letters are a verb. Har or hur or something like that. Shaykh is saying, don't get mistaken, it's not every scene that is going to tell you that the is a verb. Why not, brothers? Why is the Shaykh saying that it's not the case that every time you see a scene and it follows by a verb? No, Abu Abdullah, yes, Muhammad Muslim. Okay? Because, not because of the scene, because seen is a part of that word. The actual word name starts with seen. Okay? Because the actual seen, that's what I'm trying to say. Shaykh Uthaimeen is quite simply saying to you that not every scene is the scene that Ibn Aajrummiyyah spoke about when he said min alamat al-fi'l. Just recognize that. And now you guys are on the right basically by saying yes because of tanween, yes because of kasra, that type of stuff. Now, what Shaykh is trying to say, and you guys have picked up on it, and that is the word actually starts with C. Okay, the fourth one, ta'nith as-sakina. This is nice, this is interesting. Okay, so there are two things mentioned here. Here are two issues. اشترط شرطين ابن الآجرون Okay, brother, we'll be finishing it also. So what we know is Asr time only in your area or the other places where the other brothers are? Or have you left already? Okay. Alright. I think it's important when you, let's try to find a time which is suitable for everybody. It's going to be difficult time, but we are trying to do that at the moment, and we've made the time adjustment. in order to make it easier for the brothers, inshallah, Brother Muzammil Jazal Khairi set up the survey and sent it out to you guys to find out what's the most suitable time. And the purpose here is to benefit as many people as time. So help us to do that so we can actually find the best time for all of you brothers. بإذن تعالى. Okay, اشترط شرطين. Ibn Ajrum placed two conditions on this sign. Then الأول تاء التأنيث, that are aligned. That's the first condition. Okay, تاء التأنيث. And الثاني, second one, ساكنة. And it has to have a sukoon on it. Okay, that's the second condition. That this word is a verb. Let's have a look. فكل كلمة بتاء التأنيث الساكنة, every word that, again, focusing on this one, ختمت, is at the end. It finishes with a ta, which is the ta of ta'neeth, and in case of the picked up, ta'neeth refers to feminine, okay? Feminine referring to a woman or female, or to an inanimate object, which is a feminine object in the Arabic language. Okay, and also that ta'neeth has to have a sukoon on it. In that case, فهي فعل is a verb. Okay, the example of that, قالت الأعراب. قالت الأعراب. قال, that's your original verb. How do you know qala is your original verb? Because it accepted this ta. And this ta refers to a feminine body, and also it is sakin, it's possible. So فكلمة قالت فعل لأنها ختمت بتاء التأنيث الساكنة. Okay? Now, some brothers may be asking about this kasra, right? Is anyone confused about the kasra? Well, just for the sake of it, I would say that this kasra here is there to facilitate the reading of these two words together. And because of Allah, exactly. When you have a letter that has a sukoon on it, and the next letter, in this case is the lam of the next words, has a sukoon on it, and in order to move between this sukoon of the ta and this sukoon of the lam, the kasra is used in order to facilitate that. Alright? This is what they call iltiqa as-sakinain. Iltiqa as-sakinain. The kasra is iltiqa as-sakinain, because of two sukoons coming together, so in order to facilitate that, rather than saying qalat al-a'rabu. Rather than the Arabs, they say qalat al-a'rabu. That kasra there doesn't mean that the ta has lost its sukoon. No, the sukoon is still there. And that's why Shaykh is using it as an example. Nothing use this word as an example, because that ta is ta ta'leef and sakin has got a sukoon on it. But the kasra is only to facilitate the reading and to move it to the next word. Is that clear, inshallah? That's one example of Shaykh. Shaykh continues. Says, وقالت عجوز حكيم. وقالت عجوز حكيم. Where is it? Quite clearly, Shaykh says, قالت فعل لأنها ختمت بتاء التأنيث الساكن. Another example Shaykh is now, he says, how about this word here? Bait. Baitun. Tell me about this. Found it. He's saying it isn't. Why? No, absolutely, because it's got tanween. Okay. But how about the fact that it's got a ta on it? Sahih. That ta hasn't got sukoon. And also, also, it's not it's not for ta'need. So the Shaykh says, آخرها تاء لكنها ليست للتأنيث بل هي من بنية الكلمة. That is actually a part of the word. It's actually a part of it. It's nothing to do with ta'neeth al-sakina. So the saying of Ibn al-Aajrummiyyah, ta at-ta'neeth al-sakina, the feminine ta which has a sukoon on it, he said that ihtiraz من غير الساكنة. He said that in order ta at-ta'neeth which does not have a sukoon on it. Because there is another ta which is also for ta'neeth, which is also for feminine, it doesn't have a sukoon. For example, jumping into the place, shajaratun, هذه shajaratun. The brothers that studied Asma al-Ishara or they studied book 1 already, you know that هذا is for masculine, هذا بيت, هذا كرسي, هذا رجل, and هذه is for feminine. هذه مدرسة, هذه سيارة, هذه بقرة, هذه شجرة. So all of those words they have a ta'neeth. They have a ta which is a feminine ta. What's the difference of this ta and the ta that Ibn al-Aajrummiyyah is talking about? استعمل بوطاقي. What's the difference actually here though? What's the main difference? Okay, this has tanween. Exactly, what doesn't it have? It doesn't have support. It has a tanween, it doesn't have a support. That's the issue, exactly. هذه بقرة, هذه تاء تأنيث. Shaykh says, ولكن غير ساكنة. إذا شجرة لا نقول إنها فعل. We don't say شجرة is a tree is a verb because the تاء تأنيث is not, it hasn't got a sukoon on it. بقرة, we don't say it's a fi'l because the تاء التأنيث doesn't have a sukoon on it. قال الله تعالى, Shaykh gives another example of Surah Al-Kahf. قال هذا رحمة من ربي. رحمة تاء التأنيث, but this word is not a verb, it's not a fi'l. Why? Because تاء التأنيث غير ساكنة. The تاء التأنيث, the feminine ta, is not with a sukoon on it, doesn't have a sukoon on it. Shaykh concludes and he says, therefore الفعل 4 علامات وهي, so therefore the verb has 4 signs. وهي العلام, وهذه العلامات فيها ما يكون للماضي. This is important for us. Shaykh says, so the fi'l has, here we are, the fi'l has 4 signs, and these signs, some of them are for the fi'l madi, and some of them are for fi'l mudari', and some of them are used for either, or for both, madi and mudari'. Okay, are the brothers clear about madi and mudari' and what these 2 words mean? Give me a quick show of hands, or 1 and 2 or something like that. Do we know the difference of madi and difference of mudari'? Keep going, brothers. Anybody else? Are you brothers okay with? Do you understand the meaning of these 2? Madi and mudari'? It's good for me to get a response as quick as possible so we can save time. Quite simply, okay, that's okay, good brothers, mashallah. So quite simply, Brother Muslim, Madi, talking about something that happened in the past tense. al-mudari' speaking about something happening now or in the future. That's quite simple. Okay, so Madi, we'll see inshallah, but because we didn't teach it, I'm assuming that you may have come across it before in your like basic learning of in your primary Arabic language. In any case, the fi'l, we're talking about the signs that relate to a fi'l, right? So the fi'l has next to it. Okay. The 4 signs. Now, the fi'l itself, sometimes is speaking about the past. An event that happened yesterday, an event that happened early this morning, an event that happened last year, or 100 years ago. Okay? Something that happened is known as fi'l madi. And sometimes the verb is referring to something happening right now, as we speak, or in the future. This is called fi'l mudari'. So generally speaking, you're going to say that there's 2 types of verbs, not including the fi'l amr, the command, the imperative form. So madi and mudari', these are the 2 forms of verbs. Okay? So Shaykh Uthaimeen says that these 4 signs that we have just learnt, some of them are only for fi'l madi. Some of them are only for fi'l mudari', and some of them are used for both. Okay guys? Okay, inshallah? Awesome. Good. Alhamdulillah. Okay. So now what do you think the Shaykh is going to do? Shaykh is going to tell us the detail of this, what he just mentioned. So he says, تاء التأنيث فتاء التأنيث الساكنة تختص بالماضي. This تاء التأنيث that we spoke about, this is for فعل ماضي only. تختص بالفعل الماضي. You will not find out on فعل مضارع. Anytime you see تأنيث, and you know that this is referring to فعل ماضي. Okay, as for سين and سوف, تختص بالمضارع. As for سين and سوف, تختص بالمضارع. And the سين and the سوف only refers to فعل مضارع. Okay, you won't find the سين and the سوف on the فعل ماضي. You're not going to find it on the past tense, you're only going to find it on the present tense. مضارع. As for قد, and this is the one which is used for either ماضي or مضارع. قد تدخل على الماضي والمضارع. Okay? So, the Shaykh says, now that you know that detail, brothers, قد وتكون قد في أوله السين وسوف. So the Shaykh says, this is a reminder of قد وتكون قد في أوله السين والسوف تكونان في أوله تاء تأنيث الساكنة تكون في آخره. قد and seen and سوف only appear at the beginning of the word, which is a verb, and تاء تأنيث الساكنة only appears at the end of a word. Brothers, so at that point we have finished the lesson, alhamdulillah, and inshallah ta'ala, billahi ta'ala, which is tomorrow inshallah, we will be continuing with alamatul harf. Please revise the previous lessons, as I may be asking some top questions as I asked you at the beginning of today's class inshallah. And it's important when we have short lessons like this that people are quick to reply in order to benefit from the time and save the time inshallah. So revise well and have everything open in front of you, read and memorize and learn as much as you can. Whenever a question comes, pop the answer as quick as you can. So the next class, my brother Abdullah, as has been announced and we're assured, is on Sunday, which is tomorrow inshallah, and that is going to be at, I think it's 8 o'clock India time, 6:30 KSA. 6:30 KSA, inshallah. So you'll get the entry to the class about 15 minutes before that. Is that correct, Brother Muslim? You can possibly confirm that, inshallah. I don't know, I don't think it's 4 p.m., but let's confirm that. Father Muzammil, confirm that for us, inshallah. وصلى اللهم وسلم على نبينا محمد وصحبه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.